So I want to talk about families and difficult conversations. And my comments start with a dinner I had with my oldest daughter. About 15 years ago, I was taking her for an appointment. It was a 6:30 appointment. She was 20 years old. And we had to get a bite to eat before the appointment. So it's the early bird special. So we're waiting for the hostess to come, and she's always been a weird kid. You know, like there's stuff that goes on in her head and you never quite know what's going to come out. So she's there quiet and she's looking over this restaurant. And then she turns to me and she says, "Daddy," she says, "when you get old enough to start chewing with your mouth open, I think we'll put you to sleep." I said, "That's a pretty low threshold." Every time Allie and I are together now, I order soup. That was her way of saying she's thinking about my aging. She's thinking about my death. It's her way of wanting to talk about something. Her statement is really a question. At a certain point, these questions have to be asked and discussed. The greatest pain, and we heard about it from Willow, is isolation and disconnection. When we don't talk about things. So when we talk about life transitions, whatever they are, it's not about the thing, the downsizing or the aging, or it's not about the thing. What stops an honest, open communication are the emotions attached to the thing, the downsizing or the money. It's the emotions. There's a line in a poem that says, "Fear is the friction in transitions." All these emotions are friction in transitions. People ask me how to find well-being, how to find peace in their lives. Let go and let go and let go. Sam did the opposite. My grandson, Sam, 3 years ago, he's on the autism spectrum. So at the time, his social skills, he was trying to figure it out. And I had just gotten out of the hospital. And Sam came up to me, and we're really close. And we're alone, and he said, "Pop, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but what's going to happen when you die?" I said, "Sam, what do you think is going to happen to me? And what do you think is going to happen to you? What's your vision? What are you scared of? What do you need to happen now while I'm here?" Open communication about something's difficult. My mother, as she aged, didn't want to know that she was aging. She didn't want to talk about it. She never acknowledged that she needed help. My father was the opposite. When he was ready, he gave me his keys to his car. Then he gave me his checkbook and asked me to manage his accounts. We talked about living and dying, and 85-year-old man, he was dating 3 women, and he told me way more than I wanted to know. Talk about what's painful. And if it's painful, say it's painful. Do what Sam did. I'm uncomfortable with this, but here's what I want to say. Here's how I want to talk to you. Here's my dream. For you, for me. Here's my fear. And ask questions. Like Willow said, all humans want to live a life that has meaning, where we can make a contribution to the world. And that's why, like we've learned, that's why retirement is so frightening. So, at the end, what counts is closeness and intimacy. Ultimately, it's about love, isn't it? It's about love, because without love, we can't have joy, we can't have well-being. And what interferes with love is anxiety and secrets. That's what interferes with open-hearted love, to be able to love with your heart more than your head.